What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish Knuckles YouTube channel. Today is Expanded Thursday, and if you would have saw the video earlier today, you would have saw a video that we did, an interview with Seth and Eli about their decks at Regional. So this time around, we're actually playing Eli's Rainbow Road deck that he used to make second place at Seattle Regionals, and this is a really interesting deck, and I do love it a lot. Make sure you go check out the interview; it's really cool. You can see all the deck recaps, ask them a bunch of questions about their decks, and if you're going to Regionals, make sure you check this deck out. I know it's only 2 days away, but hey, maybe something could change your mind, and you'll decide to play this deck. Maybe make some changes to it. I don't know. But let's go over the deck. I know in the video we talk about it some. In the interview, he talks about the attacks and everything like that. But let's go over the deck and let's see what's it about. So your main attacker is going to be Xerneas. Xerneas has the attack Rainbow Force, which is what you're going to go for. It does 10 base, which is not anything. Like, that's nothing. But this attack does 30 more damage for each different type of Pokemon on your bench. So if you have 5 Pokemon on your bench, you do 150 plus a 10, 160. So 160 base, kind of. If you have 5 Pokemon with 6, you could do 6, 12, 18, then plus a 10, 190, which is really nice. And this is why Rainbow Force is such a strong card. And if you have 8 on your field with the Sky Field out, you could do 250 base with the Fighting Fury Belt, 260. I hope I did the math right. I'm pretty sure it's 260 with the fully powered Rainbow Force and everything, which is amazing. And this is why the card is so cool. You can do unlimited, like almost unlimited amount of damage, as much as you want with Xerneas, which is very, very nice. And remember, this type does 30 more damage for each different type Pokemon on your bench. I don't think I said that. So all your Pokemon have to be different types. Well, the first type is a Colorless, which is Shaymin. It has the ability to set up, draw, you have 6 cards in your hand, and Sky Return for 30. Next up is Dark, and that is Yveltal-EX. Ball does 20. This deck does 20 more damage for each. This attack does 20 more damage times the amount of energy attached to both active Pokemon. And this is obviously for Trevenant. If you watch the video, he talks about how bad Trevenant is. It's one of your worst matchups. Yveltal is probably your best way to get out and probably beat the Trevenant deck if you can get the Evolve off fairly quickly. And the White Cyclone, 90 move energy from this Pokemon to one of your benched Pokemon. Alright, next up is Fairy, because you can have a Xerneas in the active and one on the bench as well. One fighting with Gallade. Gallade is a fighting type. I think I just said that, but it has the ability of Premonition. You look at the top 5 cards of your deck and rearrange them in any order, which is amazing. This is going to help you against Item Lock. It's going to help you know what your next card is going to be. A lot for Item Lock. Like against Trevenant, you can manipulate the top card, make sure you hit an energy or a support card, and you'll be a-okay. And also, Sensitive Blade is really, really good. It does 60, and if you play the supporter card, you do 70 more damage. And this is great because if you watched the video, he talks about Jolteon some, saying that Jolteon's a really bad matchup because you have all basics except Gallade, which you can use to knock out the Jolteons, which is great. 3 Ho-Oh with the Rebirth ability. Alright, so the way we're going to power up our Xerneas on turn 1 is we're going to attach a DCE, use Rebirth, and Rebirth says, once during your turn before you attack, if this Pokemon is in your discard pile, you may flip a coin. If heads, put this Pokemon onto your bench and attach 3 different types of basic energy cards from your discard pile to this Pokemon. And if you do flip heads, you can put a Fairy, Dark, AOR, Water on that Ho-Oh and use Energy Switch onto the Xerneas to get attack off turn 1. It sounds like it's really clunky, it's not going to work, but I promise it's going to work. He also has Rainbow Burn 20. This attack does 20 more damage for each type energy, each different basic energy attached to this Pokemon. So the cool thing about this deck is you can hit for weakness if you want to. Like we said, Gallade can hit for weakness on some decks, Yveltal can hit for weakness on some decks, and Ho-Oh could hit for weakness on some decks as well, which is great. You have one Exeggcute. It has propagation once during the turn before you attack. If this Pokemon is in your discard pile, you may put this Pokemon into your hand, which is really nice. So if your opponent bumps the Sky Field, you have to discard Pokemon. Well, your first 2 options are going to be Egg and then Ho-Oh, because you can always get these cards back out onto the field with Rebirth and an Egg. And one thing I didn't note is with Ho-Oh, if you have 3 different Ho-Ohs in the discard pile, you can use Rebirth 3 times for each Ho-Oh, which is really nice. One Jirachi, which is a Steel type, and it has Stellar Guidance to help you search for a supporter card. And one Hoopa, which is a Psychic. You have Scoundring, search for 3 EX Pokemon. Don't worry about these attacks, we don't play the energies. And lastly, there is Water. It has Water through Keldeo-EX, which is Rush in, He switches with the active Pokemon, then you can free retreat with the Float Stone, and you have the attack Seeker Sword 50 and 20 more damage for each water energy attached to this Pokemon, and you play the water energy for Keldeo, so you can hit for weakness on the Keldeo, Yveltal, Xerneas, Gallade, Ho-Oh, and yep, that's it. Maybe Shaymin, but there's no weakness for Shaymin. But you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different types they can have on the bench. And let's say you have 8, right? You have 8 on the bench. Your opponent bumps your Sky Field, you go down to 5, so you have to discard 3. The 2 you're probably going to discard is a Ho-Oh and an Egg, and if there's a Shaymin on your bench, you can immediately just bump the Shaymin, discard the Shaymin, and maybe play the other one down, so you maybe get a full bench of 8. Now, you don't have to get the full bench of 8, but it is really, it's just really cool, basically. Alright, everything else is pretty much straightforward from here. 4 Battle Compressor, discard 3 cards out of your deck. This is going to be your Eggs, Ho-Ohs, Energy, Supporter cards. 1 Computer Search, you can get any card in your deck. 4 Energy Switches, which is mainly for the Xerneas to power up in one turn. Maybe in a later turn, you do have 4, which is really cool. So all of a sudden, you can have no energies in play, use Rebirth, attach a DC, Energy Switch, you'll be A-OK. 4 Trainers Mail, 4 Ultra Ball, 4 VS Seeker. These are all pretty much staple cards. 1 Colress, you shuffle your hand into deck, draw as many cards as there is bench Pokemon to play, which is really good, expanded. 1 Lysandre, 1 Maxie to get out the Gallade, 1 in, and 3 Sycamore. Alright, so that's all of our supporter cards in the deck. We don't have any full art Junipers. I wish we had some full art Junipers. That's the only thing we're missing right now. 4 Sky Field to help you get that 4 bench Pokemon. Mainly 6. 6 is kind of the magic number. And 2 Fighting Fury Belt. The base Pokemon this card is attached to gets 40 more HP and does 10 more damage, which makes Xerneas have 160 HP. And it's also resistance to Dark, which is basically like 180, which is really nice. 2 Float Stone to give Keldeo free retreat. 4 DC, 1 Dark, 1 Water, and 3 Fair Energy. 3 Fair Energy might seem low, but I promise it will work out. You do have Ho-Oh with Rebirth to get him out of your discard pile, and with the 4 Battle Compressor, this can easily be done. You have like probably like a 1 out of 3 chance of getting the Rebirth, and you'll be A-OK. But I really do like this deck a lot. It does probably destroy Dark because you can one-shot their EX. They can't really one-shot you because you have Resistance and the Fighting Fury Belt. And if you play against EX decks, you're going to probably easily win those over and over again because you're exchanging of 2 for 1 prize card. But like I said earlier, make sure you check out the interview. It does explain a lot. Shout out to both of them for making cuts with 2 unique decks one more time. If you haven't seen the interview, check it out. You also see a Boppling, Regice, Jolteon deck. Sorry, I almost forgot for a second. But there you go. Hopefully you enjoyed this deck introduction. Thanks for watching, and let's see the deck in action right now. Alright, pretty against AO, Xandro playing a Water, Steel, Colors, and a Grass deck. This could be a Blastoise deck, like an Archie-Stoise deck with Archie Blastoise and stuff like that. So is it going to be Archies versus Maxies? We lost coin flip, so we will be going second, but we can't get the turn 1 attack off. So on to our opponent's turn, let's see what's going to happen. Alright, so we get no basic Pokemon. They're going to see a bunch of colorful energy and be like, I wonder what my opponent is playing with all these colorful energy. And they're going to see a mulligan. Alright, let's take number 2, and let's see what's going to happen. Alright. So, let's see. We can Ultra Ball discard these 2. Our top deck, like, really depends if we get the turn 1 Gallade or not. There's a Keldeo. Okay. Yeah, if we get a if we get a turn 1, if we get a turn 1, that'd be amazing. But no, I think we can get it regardless. Like, whatever we top deck, we can. No, I don't know. We'll have to see what we top deck. That's the big question. All right. So we see a Acrobite, Trainers Mail, Water Energy. Yeah, this is definitely an Archie-Stoise deck. So Archie-Stoise versus Maxie's Rainbow Road. Okay, Superior Energy Retrieval coming down. A Lugia-EX coming down. Okay. There's an Acrobite. Going to discard another Acrobite. Alrighty. There's an Ultra Ball discarding a Sycamore and a Water Energy. And let's see what they decide to get out. There's a Shaymin-EX taking Shaybe to draw up to 6 cards in their hand. Water Energy to the active. Shaymin going to draw 4 cards unless he can my opponent get the turn 1 Blastoise. As of right now, it doesn't look like it. But anything can happen with his deck. So there's a Trainers Mail. Going to look at the top 4 cards of his deck. Yeah, you're going to grab an Ultra Ball. Okay. He can Ultra Ball discard 2. Does he have a... Well, I mean, it depends what the other 3 cards are. There's an Ultra Ball discarding a Superior and a Lysandre. So 2 Superiors are gone. Turn 1. Another Shaymin is coming out. Another Shaymin going to draw 3 cards. Alright, so setting up for another 3. Alright, looks like my opponent is kind of struggling getting this turn 1 Archies off. There's a Rough Seas coming down. And, I mean, I don't think they would put down the Rough Seas unless... Like, you don't put down the Rough Seas unless you're not ending your turn. I guess, if that makes sense. But a Jirachi comes down. Let's see what my opponent gets. And there's an end. No! An end will come down. Okay, so we're going to end, shuffle our hand into deck. And I'm pretty sure we have the turn 1. It just depends what we top deck, kind of. So let's see what we get off these 6 new cards. We can still get the turn 1. It depends. Yeah, if we get a... I mean, maybe... Yeah, if we get an Ultra Ball, and we Sycamore or Battle Compressor away a... Gallade and Jirachi's in the deck, and the Archie's in the deck, or Maxie's in the deck would be great. So there's a Float Stone. We are going to use Compressor, and with the Compressor, we are going to discard. Let's see, is Maxie's in there? Maxie's in the deck. There is a Gallade. Alright, so Glade's in the deck. Is Jirachi in the deck? Jirachi's in the deck. Alright, so everything's in here. We're going to discard a Gallade, a Ho-Oh, and a Fair Energy. So we're going to discard those 3. Let's play a Trainers Mail. Can we hit an Ultra Ball or not? And there it is. There's an Ultra Ball, so we can get the turn 1 out. So I'm going to Ultra Ball, discard a Float Stone and a Sycamore. We're going to grab a Jirachi-EX. Come to me, Jirachi. Alright, so Jirachi joining the party. We'll put down the Xerneas, put down the Ho-Oh, use Jirachi, use Stellar Guidance to get out the Maxies, and we will put down the Sky Field. So we're having a great turn 1. Let's grab the Maxies, and let's see, can we hit an Energy Switch DCE and a Ho-Oh Rebirth Flip and some other stuff? Maybe another Ultra Ball to get a Hoopa. I don't even know if Hoopa's in the deck. I didn't check. But let's Maxies getting that Glade out. That will happen this turn. And we still have Shaymin's in the deck as well. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. We are going to be short, but I think we're going to go for the Rebirth regardless. Heads, okay. We'll get the Fair Energy out. Sorry, I know there's no other cards. That's okay, Pokemon. I know there's no other cards. So we get a Fair Energy out. We'll Energy Switch up the Fair Energy to this guy. Put a DCE. Put down to Exeggcute. So yeah, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 16. Yeah, we'll be 1 short. Oh, man. Premonition, gonna grab that Sycamore. And then the other cards don't really matter. Okay. And let's go for a Rainbow Force, and we will whiff the turn 1 knockout. We're just missing the Fighting Fear Belt, so 160 damage. 1 more Pokemon would have done it, but still, turn 1 Rainbow Force is very, very strong. And let's see, how can my opponent retaliate? Can they get the Blastoise out this turn and get down 4 energy? There's a Keldeo, Articuno, Water Energy. Wow, my opponent's going to have to retreat into the Articuno and go for a Chilling Sigh. Oh man, that's not very good for my opponents. So there's a heads. We do wake up. On to our turn, we'll top deck a Sycamore, and we are looking for a Keldeo. We're just going to discard the Darken Energy Switch. That's fine. And let's see, what do we get? There's an Yveltal Keldeo, so let's grab the Keldeo. Let's play the Trainers Mail, looking for a Float Stone. Okay, we'll grab an Ultra Ball. Come to me, Ultra Ball. Thank you, buddy. Let's use Trainers Mail again. We could use Propagation, but I want to use Trainers Mail first and then use Propagation. Okay, we'll grab a Colress. That seems like a great card to have for the next turn. And now let's use Premonition for rearrange top 5 cards of our deck. Oh, there's Float Stone, so we'll put down the top for the next turn and get everything else out. We'll put down an Yveltal as well. And that way, if my opponent bumps the stadium, we can discard like a Ho-Oh, maybe an Egg and a Ho-Oh or something. So we will do a Rainbow Force for the knockout. We're doing like 220. Yeah, this is not looking good for my opponent, especially since they don't have anything in their deck. So we're going to have 5 prize cards. There's a Battle Compressor. There's a Shaymin-EX. Oh, a Shaymin coming up. Alright, so on to my opponent's turn. What do they get? I mean, do they even have a Blastoise in the discard pile? They don't. Okay, alright, so there's a Jirachi coming down. We could see an end. If only he had a Blastoise in the discard pile, he could go for an Archie's, but there's a Sycamore coming out. Looks like my opponent's going to Sycamore instead of getting the Archie. So Sycamore, going to discard the hand, draw 7 new cards. And does he find another non-EX Pokemon to put down? Like another Articuno or something? Because he is going to give it 2 prize cards this turn, which is not the greatest thing to do. And he really doesn't have a choice. So there's an Eggs, Blastoise, Archie's being discarded. So I want to play a second Rough Seas is the question as well. Most Archie's always deck play like 1, maybe 2, so if he only plays the 1, that's very bad, because Sky Field is going to stay forever. There's a Float Stone, we're going to put that down on our Keldeo. Use Colress, going to shuffle our hand into the deck and draw like a billion cards. Alrighty, there we go. We're going to Compressor, and with the Compressor, we're going to discard a Ho-Oh and a Water, and probably just those two. Maybe, no, we'll keep the inner deck. We'll draw into it later if we need to. We'll put a Fairy on our Xerneas, and we're going to start going crazy now. Let's use Premonition. We almost forgot to do that. We'll put a Fighting Freebell on top of our deck. That seems great. Oh, we could. Hold on, let's see. No, let's put Sky Field on top of our deck. That seems like a better option. So Sky Field, whatever, that rest doesn't matter. Oh no, we got to do this right. Put these two back. Sky Field. Alright, there we go. So press done. And now if my opponent plays a rough seas, we can immediately draw to a Sky Field, take a knockout the next turn. So let's go for another Rainbow Force for the knockout. For another 220. Sadly, we can't do any more as of right now. We'll go down to 3, and I don't know how my opponent's going to pull this out. There's a Hoopa. There's a VS Seeker. We can even add more damage with this deck. On to my opponent's turn. Let's see what's going to happen. Do they draw into anything or not? We know there's a Blastoise in their discard pile and Archie's finally. There's a Water G to the Keldeo. But I mean, after this turn, we're going to have 2 Xerneas powered up. We have a Float Stone Keldeo. I don't know how my opponent's going to win. Unless he ends us to 1 next turn, and he bumps... Okay, there's a Rough Seas coming out, so we're going to discard a Ho-Oh. Discard an Egg. And we'll discard a Ho-Oh. That seems great. We still have different color Pokemon on our bench. We have a Fairy, Steel, Fighting, Water, Dark, and we could put down a Grass, put down a Fire maybe, and put down a Hoopa as well. So there's a VS Seeker for the end. My opponent's going to end us down to 3. But we have plenty of outs. We have Exeggcute as well now to help us propagate if we need to draw some cards. But he's still not taking a knockout this turn. Like, we're going to knock... Well, we don't take a knockout yet either. There's a Sky Field. There's a DC. Okay, that's not good for my opponent. Like, I don't... Like, this is probably the best 3 cards you can get off the end. Like, even if he knocked us out, we have a DC. We have a Sky Field. We have a Sycamore. I feel sorry for my opponent right now. Like, that is something horrible to see. There's a Lugia coming up, and it looks like we are going to probably 6-0 this Blastoise deck. Yep, we're going to put down a Sky Field. Put down a DC on this guy. We're actually just going to use Propagation. And just take a knockout this turn. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. So put down Egg, and we'll Premonition. Putting maybe a Sky Field on top of the deck. We'll put Computer Search on top of our deck. There's no Sky Field as of right now. And we'll Rainbow Force, and maybe our opponent will be nice. And he's probably going to be really upset that we're doing this. But Rainbow Force, I wonder if we can bench 8 different kind of Pokemon. So we'll take 2 more prize cards, and there's a victory screen. I think next turn we could have put down a Ho-Oh and maybe a Hoopa and done 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 20, 25. I think it's 250. I think it's max it could do. Yeah, 250 would. I'm pretty sure we would have hit the 250, especially with the Computer Search coming to our hand. As long as we would have hit 1 of the Ho-Oh flips. So there we go. We got the Gallade down turn 1. I mean, this deck is really, really nice. But we're gonna see one more game with the deck here in a second. Hopefully, it's not another Archie's Toys deck that we just like dominate. We would have 6-0 that deck. But give me a second. We'll see one more game with the deck, and we'll see what happens. All right. So we're against Patrick playing a Steel, Psychic, and a Colorless deck. Steel, Psychic, and Color. So I'm not... Oh, man, it could be... There's... I don't know. The main thing that comes to my head is Trevenant. Psychic for Trevenant, Steel for Jirachi, Colors for Shaymin. Opponent has no base Pokemon. We'll start with Xerneas. I'm not sure how this matchup goes. But we'll see what happens. Leshy. There's a Lugia. Okay, so it's Lugia Break Bronzong. And my opponent had the advantage, supposedly. But whatever, we'll take it. Okay. I think we have a turn 1 Gallade as well. If all the right cards are not prized, there's a Juniper. We'll press done. And there's a Jirachi. Okay. So we're going to Compressor. And with the Compressor, we're going to discard a Gallade. There's the Maxies. There's a Gallade. Is Jirachi in here as well? Jirachi's in the deck. Okay. I'm going to discard... Okay, I'm going to discard, I guess an egg. Let's see, is Exeggcute in here? That'd be another good card to see. Is egg in the deck? There's an egg. Is Keldeo in the deck? The Keldeo is in the deck as well. So we're gonna press done. I'm actually going to propagate, put an egg in my hand. We have like probably the best turn one you can have. We're going to Ultra Ball, discard a Sycamore and a Exeggcute. With this, we're gonna grab a Hoopa. Come to me, Hoopa. I know you're in here, buddy. So we're gonna grab a Hoopa. We are going to put down the Sky Field, play Hoopa, and with the Hoopa, we're going to search for 3 EX Pokemon. We're actually going to grab a Ho-Oh as of right now. Grab a Jirachi and a Keldeo. And the reason why we're grabbing the Ho is if my opponent bumps the stadium, we can put the Jirachi and the Ho in the discard pile. So those come down, we'll put down the Yveltal, put down the Ho-Oh, put down the Shaymin, we'll say no thank you, no thank you, okay, we'll put down the Keldeo, slap a Float Stone on it, put a DC on the active, put down a Jirachi, we'll use Stellar Guidance. I mean, this is a pretty great turn one. We'll grab, oh my goodness, I messed up. Oh no, I didn't mean to discard the Maxies. Whoops, if we would do... Oh man, if we were to get the max, we actually we should not discard the Maxies. We should discard like a Ho-Oh or Energy. Oh man, that's too funny. All right, so let's grab an N. Oh man, we have the turn Gallade. All right, so let's play the N, and oh man, that's really funny to me. Okay. Alright, so we draw some stuff. Oh my goodness, that's really funny. Alright, so we're going to Compressor. And with the Compressor, we're going to discard some energies. I guess, we have a bunch of energies in our hand. We'll discard those two. And I guess a Lysandre. That seems great. Fighting Fear about the active. We're going to rush in, retreat to Hoopa and just pass. Oh my goodness, that's really funny. Alright, so let's retreat to the Hoopa and we'll probably pass. Like we had the turn Gallade, oh man, well, we did and I did. I just accidentally, man, y'all probably saw me like battle press away the you know what you call it. You probably saw me battle press away the Maxie. He's like, no, Squeaky, don't do that. Don't battle press away the Maxie. No, don't do it. And you're like, oh, too late. Squeaky's silly sometimes. Alright, so there's Shaymin, Bronzor coming down. As long as my opponent doesn't play a counter stadium, we can knock out pretty much anybody in play. There's a Metal Energy coming down. Shaymin coming down. Going to set up, going to draw up to 6. Okay. There's another Bronzor coming down. Alright, so let's get serious. So let's see. Okay, so pass on our turn. Alright, so we're gonna put a Fair Energy on this guy. We are going to rush in with the Keldeo, retreat into the Xerneas, and we will Rainbow Force for the knockout. I think we're doing 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 190. So yeah, we'll Rainbow Force for the knockout. Doing 200. Wait, that didn't math wrong. Oh, because of the Fighting Fear Belt. Duh. Alright, so the 2 prize cards. There's a DC and an Ultra Ball, which is great. We can get another Xerneas out this turn. We do have only one Ho in the... No, we have no Hoes in this card pile. Great. Bronzong coming down. We'll see a DC to the active, and I guess we're just gonna see a Sky Return. There's a Juniper, discarding those two. And hopefully he does not play another stadium, or play a stadium. That'd be, man, if he doesn't play a stadium, we are just going to destroy our opponent. But let's see what's going to happen. We still have Exeggcute as well, which we could propagate at any moment. Put that down onto the field. There's an Assault Vest. Going to put that on the Mewtwo. That is not going to save your Mewtwo. I'm sorry. What is that? Minus 40. Oh, man. Is that... Oh, my goodness. Hold on. Is this a... What card... Are they bumping us down to 3? Okay, so we're discarding a Ho. Oh, my goodness. He's bumping it down to... We're going to have 3 bench Pokemon. That is amazing. We're going to discard Shaymin. And we're going to discard Jirachi. This is amazing. Okay, I'm actually excited. This is going to make the matchup so hard for us. But, oh, man, I still believe in us. I still believe. Alright, so let's see. My opponent's going to Sky Return, do 30. And who is he going to send up? Is he going to go for it, send up the Mewtwo or not? Like, saying, alright, Mewtwo, you're going to tank for a turn? If he doesn't, 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, we can knock out any of the Bronzongs or Bronzor. There's a Sky Return, 430. Let's see who my opponent decides to send up. Is it the Mewtwo or not? Does he believe in us, or believe in himself? And yeah, he's going to send that Mewtwo onto our turn. We get a Trainers Mail. Alrighty. I'm gonna Trainers Mail first and see what's in it. What can we get? Okay, so Computer Search. Alright, so we're gonna grab a Computer Search. That seems really good. We will Computer Search, discard 1 and 2. And I think Colress is still in our deck. Hopefully it is. Okay, yeah, we're gonna grab a Colress. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we're gonna Colress for 7. And we need a Sky Field and a bunch of Pokemon. Alright, looks like we haven't whiffed the Sky Field just yet. Let's Compressor. And with the Compressor, we'll discard 2 Ho-Ohs and another Compressor. Yes, he's fine. How many Sky Field are in our deck? 3. Alright, so let's see. Can we get it or not? Come to me, Trainers Mail. And there's the Sky Field. That's great. Okay, so we're going to grab a Sky Field. Put down the Sky Field. We are going to Propagate. Alright, we are going to Ultra Ball, discard Egg, and the VS Seeker. I think there's a Shaymin left in our deck. If not, I made a silly mistake. Yeah, there's a Shaymin. So grab that. We will put down the Xerneas. We're going to use Rebirth. Hells, okay. Rebirth again. Heads, alright, there we go. We'll get a Ho-Oh, put down a Fairy. We'll grab a Water, and we'll grab a Dark. And we can use Energy Switch. How many Pokemon do we have on the bench right now? We have 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 22, 23, then minus 40, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, we can take a knockout this turn, which is great. So we'll put down a Shaymin. Do we need the Shaymin? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 19, 20. Yeah, we need the Shaymin to take a knockout on Mewtwo. So we'll set up. Oh, we forgot to use Energy Switch first. Oops, that was my bad. We could use Energy Switch to draw 1 more card. There's a Fighting Fear Belt, so we'll play that. On this guy, we will Energy Switch, put a Fair Energy onto our Xerneas. There we go. We will Propagate, and this should be a knockout unless I'm bad at math, which we all know that I'm bad at math, so let's grab the Egg. Put that down. We'll put a Float Stone on the Hoopa, and we will Rainbow Force. Yeah, doing 190 damage was enough to knock it out, so go down to 2. And I don't know how my opponent is going to... Like, my opponent played a Parallel City to put us down to 3, and we still got a knockout. Like, that's how good this deck is. Like, oh my goodness. Alright, so here goes a Bronzong. Ultra our opponent's turn. They're going to draw a card. And what can my opponent really do now? Like, they're out of attackers, and they attack with another EX. We're going to knock them out unless they play another Parallel City, but we have another Sky Field and a bunch of other stuff in our hand to help get the knockout. Which is great. I mean, if they play down a Parallel City, we have to go down to 3, which I'm going to keep probably the, I'm going to keep the Yveltal, Keldeo, and the Xerneas. Keep these 3, because we can get back the Egg and the Ho-Oh. The only bad thing is we don't play a Super Rod, so we can't get back our Hoopa or anything. So, the max we can do is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We can hit 170. Here comes a Bronzong Break. Oh my goodness, this could be amazing. Bronzong Break, Metal Rain. You discard as many Metal Energies from this Pokemon as you want, and it does 30 damage for each Metal Energy you discard. There's a VS Seeker for a Juniper. We can actually get a Gallade out this turn as well. And there's a Shaymin being discard. If my opponent discards a Pokemon or puts down an EX Pokemon, we're going to win this turn. If not, we might just get out a Gallade. We can't get out a Gallade. Never mind. Alright, so there's an Ultra Ball, discarding a Metal and a Metal. Yeah, if my opponent plays a Parallel City, we can actually get a Gallade down as well, which would be pretty cool. Alright, so let's see who my opponent gets out with this Ultra Ball. If they get an EX Pokemon, they're probably going to lose. I don't see them... I mean, they can knock us out this turn. They can use, like, Bronzong. I mean, we're weak to Metal, so that's easy for them to knock us out. Okay, let's see what else does my opponent have. He's running with Lugia. I'm not sure we're playing. There's a victory streak coming down. And, I mean, the first game, we pretty much 6-0'd a Blastoise deck. And, I mean, this deck is really, really good. I think it's one of the, one of the secret decks in the format as of right now. But if you haven't seen the interview, like I said at the beginning of the video, make sure you go check that out. The interview is worth a lot to go watch. And let's see, and alright, we get the Rainbow Power. The daily challenge is completed as well, getting a breakthrough pack, which is pretty nice. We can't get any more levels in Fairy, we're already maxed out. But there we go. We don't have a bonus one, I don't think. 50 more tokens, so up to 17. 93 tokens and 514 tournament tickets. So many, but hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching this episode of Expanded Thursday. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Rainbow Road. I mean, we had a silly mistake. We didn't get the Gallade out turn 1, game 2, and they played a Parallel City, bumping us down, and we still came back and took a knockout on a Mewtwo with an Assault Vest, which is pretty amazing. But hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a great Thursday. Alrighty. Bye. Alright guys, just want to give a quick shout out to our two sponsors, 60 Cards and Yeti Gaming. The links are down below to their websites. Make sure you go check them out. Alrighty.